Hello, beautiful muses. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today we have another weekly Friday insight with your yes, no, maybe questions. And I do, as a reader that does yes, no, maybe questions, I do have certain things to say about the kinds of questions you bring here. Feel free to bring what you want, but the way that I read, there are questions that are going to feel like the answers make more sense. So the most simple aspect of this is to phrase your question so that a yes would be either the positive outcome or the outcome you are looking for. So that's the way I'm reading in terms of what yes means to me in the reading, or what yes in the reading means is more of a positive. And then the other thing is these readings are going to make a lot more sense if you bring questions that you have some sort of like energetic entanglement with. You still have like influence over it. It's not, and that isn't like super black and white, where there isn't necessarily like if you were to get a maybe, that would still make sense to you. Like there's still room for some energetic things to happen in this question. So an example of a question that may not totally make sense when you get an answer is if it's really black and white. The example I typically use is, say you have gone through a final interview phase for a job and like you're either going to get it or you're not, and you're just waiting. That's not the best kind of answer or question to bring here. I would maybe rephrase, if you have a question like that where it's like pretty black and white, there's not a lot of like room for your energy to influence things at this point. Or at all. So in that question, you could rephrase that to say something like, would this job make me happy? Or say you're generally job hunting. Would the types of jobs I'm looking for right now make me happy? You could say something like that as well. So, bring whatever questions you want. I'm just sort of giving you some insight as to what's going to make the most sense to you in terms of bringing certain questions here. Okay, that being said, let's look at our piles today. We have pile 1, which is flower agate. We have pile 2 with aquamarine. We have pile 3 with Chalcedony. And pile 4 with blue Orca agate. Okay, for those of you that have your own process for picking piles, you can pause here and do what you do. For the rest of you that like my breath work to help you get into a good space for that, we'll start that now. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel that stability underfoot. Feel like you're being held by that really grounding, earthy space. And now take a really deep breath into your body to ground into that sensation, that feeling, and grounding into your gut and your intuition. Hold that. And exhale. And now take another deep breath in, and this time suck the air up, up, up into the space between your brows. Hold. Suck in a little more to add pressure to that third eye space, inner knowing. And then out loud, you are going to exhale, opening up your crown chakra and inspiration. Okay, so now you can glance over these piles, these stones, and ask which one has the right aligned message for your question. All right, I'll see you guys in your readings. Hello, pile 1, my beautiful flower agate group. So an intuitive hit, before we get into your cards, as I focused on your group, your stone, and how the cards felt coming out, was I got this really clear image. It almost felt like a monk or some sort of spiritual student, like in their private quarters, really focusing deeply on studying something. So I don't know if the question being brought here is like student related, learning related. If not, I also had like other metaphorical thoughts around that. Is some of these cards did sort of like, I was sort of fumbling with them, and the more I could kind of focus on that image that came to mind of that kind of deep private study, the more things felt right and calm. And so if this is more of like a metaphor for you, it's sort of like advising you to get really still, like you're trying, like this question has something where something in the real deep depths of you has the answer, like the answer is within you, or some insight is deeply within you, but you really need to create some stillness and quiet around you to, you know, go into some contemplation or something. So I don't know, there's several ways that could have gone. You might literally be a student, or yeah, it might be the more metaphor thing. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily tell us about the yes, no, maybe, but it's just some sort of stuff that came through. Okay, so we are going to look for the yes, no, maybe in this top row of cards, which are the tarot cards. We've got 5 of Swords, High Priestess, that makes a lot of sense, and then 7 of Wands. Yeah, I think there's a lot going on excuse me, around you and within you that you need to settle down. These are actually only distractions. These are things detracting or trying to distract you from really getting into your own intuitive sense. And it's really interesting because it just sort of came out of me. It wasn't something I had like planned to say, but when I said that like the answer is already deep within you, and you need to get still enough and calm and quiet enough to reach it. This is the High Priestess that's coming through, and so unless something really distinct comes through in these other cards where I don't necessarily usually find the yes, no, maybes, this is a maybe because that answer's within you. I don't know what else to say. And it must be because it's such different answers. Like maybe there's a wide variety of questions coming in here that all are requiring you to go a little deeper into yourself and are requiring you to really create some calm, quiet space around you to do some contemplation. And it means shutting out outside distractions, people, groups, others' thoughts, people taking sides on something, as well as internal thoughts of thinking of these feelings of like you have to defend something or people are after something. Like all of these are just distractions. They're just illusions. They are not things you need to worry about. They aren't real in the sense that you're making them out to be or that they're feeling to you right now. And the more you can just like get into your center, get into your calm, clear, quiet, contemplative space, the more this will come up and these other cards will drop into the background and like disappear. And you'll know if you can just sit and be still and calm and quiet enough for that. I'm going to do my best with these other cards to give any insight that might lean on a spectrum of yes or no. I hate to sit in like a really, really firm maybe with like no sense of this could go really positive or towards the yes or no for you, but like right now it's like full on like you have the answer. But let's look at your astrology and see if we can get any other insight. So second house, resources. Third house, communication. And 11th house, community. What just came through to me is I do think that there are a lot of questions, different kinds of questions here, and that's why it's hard for me to go anywhere but that firm neutral maybe. Still saying that you actually have like a really clear, strong answer, but you just like you're not going deep enough to hear that within you yet. But I am hearing sort of this clear thing of where answers may lean more towards a yes versus no. Still staying firm in that I think you can, it can go either way no matter what I say with these, just based on the own answer you have within you. But I'm just going to give insight into different types of questions I'm feeling that are being brought here and how they align with the energy I'm seeing. So if this is a question about job, income, resources, using your voice for something, actually I'm not getting yes, no's. This is still a maybe, but I am getting insight into like what you can do to get into this space. Is that there are outside sort of lines being drawn, like people asking you to take sides or you feeling like you have to take a certain side. And this is saying like, no, you need to, like I'm seeing this arrow going through the apple as you needing to block out. I'm seeing the apple as like a trick. Someone's trying to like lob, I don't know if you've heard that, the myth about Eris in Greek mythology, how she wasn't invited to Hera's, I want to say, wedding to Zeus, and she was really offended and she wanted revenge, and so she wrote on an apple to the fairest and she lobbed it into the wedding, and Athena, Aphrodite, and maybe Hera, I can't remember the third one, I'll just say it was Hera, all started fighting over whether that apple was meant for them or not. And they asked, who was it? Whoever was the Helen of Troy, the prince who won Helen's hand kind of in the trick. He was the one that was asked to then judge, and they all were trying to use their tricks to persuade him, but Aphrodite said she would give him Helen if he said it was her, and so that's what happened. So Aphrodite got it. And so I'm seeing there's something like this here. It doesn't necessarily have to do with beauty, although second house can relate to sort of form and function, so can be related to physical beauty, but second house has also anything materially related, resources, income, but also your voice and self-worth. So there's something around this where you feel like there's some quandary, like it's not real, or like someone's thrown an apple into your court about this that's kind of stirring the pot around you. It's like you need to shut out. That's just a tactic to create drama. I feel like there's like been some tactic that's been used to create some drama here, and you need to shut that out. And by shutting that out and not playing into the Apple game, you'll be able to find that peace to get still and quiet and calm here. If this is about having something to do with communication, information, connection, generally community, a sense of belonging, wanting to feel like you belong to something, you're really close. You're already like in that place of like being able to step into your high priestessness in that calm, quiet place. So like keep going with what you're doing. You're really getting, this is like encouragement, like you're getting there. And then if this question has something more to do with like the industry you're in, collaborations, your own like liberating from something, the story here is like you may have had some kind of recent victory in that kind of range of things, and now you feel like people are like coming for you a little, or like the competition is suddenly ramped up around something here. It's an illusion. There is no competition. Stand your ground. You're already in the victorious place. Trust your heart and your courage. Let this stuff go to the side. It's more inner feelings here. Like you need to let go of some like inner thinking, inner competitiveness, or inner grasping to hold on to kind of like where you are. Everything's always in a constant state of change. You're not going to hold on to this spot forever, but you are strong right now. So it's just like you need to put those inner kind of motivations away and stop focusing on the outside and start focusing on the inside to find an inner answer to something. You're not going to find the answer to this by fighting outward battles. You need to let those go and turn inward and get still and quiet here. So I think these were just coming through with like, because I do feel that there's like a lot of different kinds of questions here, and all of them, the answer is really clearly in you. You already know, but you have to get really still, really quiet, and really internal to hear that and to connect with that it's there for you. And I'm sorry, I wish I had like a more insightful answer, but I just think that, yeah, for whatever reason, this pile just drew. I think you're all very intuitive people, and I think this is Spirit saying like, don't rely on outside guidance here. Like this needs to come from you for some reason. Okay, some oracle cards. We've got Lunar, which is again that going into your intuition. Revelation lies there. Premonition lies there. You've got this. And then clean it up. And this is all about like stop focusing on the outside. Turn back inward. Shut out the noise. Shut the noise off about inner thoughts about outward things. Just anything that relates to the outside world, shut it out. Clean that up, shut it out, and just focus deeply within you, what you want, what you need, what your intuition has to offer in that regard. Okay, last two, we've got some tea leaves. One of them that came out as an astral house versus a kind of fortune card, so that may have some more clues about like an area of life this has to do with, or that should maybe some insight to focus on. Marriage, so this could be a relationship question for some of you. It doesn't have to be love, like spouse type of thing. It could be, I'm reading this more broadly than marriage, like relationships, any really important one-on-one connections you have with people. That can be a spouse or a lover, it can be a family member, it can be a friend, whatever, a business partner, whoever you have really tight one-on-one relationships with. maybe you're trying to find some aspect of trust there, and it's like you just need to shut out sort of outside advice, internal notions about external things. You may even need space from, if this is about a specific person, you may need space from them to get back into your own boundaries and your own energy to feel that clarity of what you need and what you want and what your wisdom has. And then we've got table, hard work ahead, which I always see as a good thing. That means that there's some purpose that is going to be coming through. When you find that inner answer for yourself, I think that it's going to spark some sort of, you're going to find some sort of purpose related to this question that's going to spark you and motivate you to want to put some effort into whatever this question is about. So maybe that helps in some way around your question, even if it's not completely on a yes/no here. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope it resonated. A very interesting answer that came out. I don't know that I've had one like that before. But yeah, if this connected for you, I always appreciate the things. Like, share, subscribe, and I hope you have a beautiful day whenever and wherever you are. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your Friday Insight. Yes, no, maybe. Answers to your questions. You guys picked this beautiful aquamarine stone, and sort of an intuitive hit that came as I was focusing on your group and your stone and feeling into your cards. It was really funny. I just got this phrase that kept popping into my head that was like same, 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 and it made me think of a scene in the TV series Arrested Development when the character Job is connecting. He's sort of like this amateur magician, and he really admires this more prominent magician, Tony Wonder, and they're kind of competitive, but then they have a moment where they really sort of like meet on a more like one-to-one level and are in conversation and are realizing that they have like a lot in common. And they're like, same, you like that, same, I like that, you do this, yeah, same. And it was like this thing of like they really connected, and there was just like this groundswell of excitement of like really feeling seen and this deep belonging with each other and camaraderie. The only thing with that, and I kind of got the same, not in as quite the same way, but like Tony Wonder was actually deceiving Job in this part of the story, and I don't necessarily get that here. Like I feel like there's something going on where you're connecting, you're feeling this like camaraderie maybe around something with this question or something generally in your life. And I'm not getting a deceptive tone, but I am getting that like, not in a bad way, just more of like this overexcitement way of like kind of be careful about love bombing here, either from yourself or the other side or a little bit of both, and not in a bad way. I don't think there's anything, I didn't get any negative vibes off of this. It was more of like just this overexcitement and to take everything lightly here. Don't put all your eggs into this basket, maybe, is what I'm gonna say. Is like have fun with it, but don't put a lot of pressure on it or a lot of forward planning here. Just have fun with whatever this question is. Take it lightly. Don't over I don't know, like think this is something that 10 years down the road is going to be the same as it is now. This feels a little bit transitory, like not permanent in a sense. Okay, that being said, we're going to look at this top row of cards, which are your tarot, to tease out the actual yes, no, maybe here. We've got the Tower, 8 of Swords with isolation, Ooh, I think I know. I think this is going to be a good one. Oh, the devil. Interesting. I am feeling here that this is, despite these cards being a little difficult, there's actually like a really positive message here. This thing, you know, and it may not be a person, it might just be like, it might be an idea, it might be a person, it might be some information, but whatever is coming in to give that kind of love bomb feeling or community connection feeling or belonging feeling that I was picking up on was like, I think you've had some attachment to stories about not belonging, about feeling like there were really people out there that you can connect to in the way you want to connect. And something is coming along to really shake you out of this mindset and this attachment. There's like an attachment to this mindset that I don't know if it's like comfort or a stubbornness in feeling like different or feeling unable to, I don't know, find others who are as like far thinking or philosophically minded as you. Sometimes that can be like, I'm not calling you this. We all have aspects of us that can go here, but sometimes it can be read. It's more that like the outside world can read something here this way that is not actually true, but like I think the energy you are suddenly being shaken out of and flipped on its head in this kind of feeling isolated and attached to almost not belonging is like whatever's going on inside of you. I don't think it's arrogance, but I think it's being read as arrogance, and that's something that has been preventing sort of like connection here or a sense of belonging or grounding here. But this is being shaken up. It's like you're like something from the outside world is like coming in to stir the pot, to stir things up, to break you out of your own cage. And I think it's like more about shaking you out of a certain mindset that like the only thing preventing you from connecting or finding information you want or feeling a belonging around this question is your own mindset. That you're not as different as other people, and it just is requiring you to let go of an attachment of not connecting with your own self in a really beautiful, healthy, positive way. And I think something is shaking that up for some reason. And it's like you're seeing, it's like these inner pathways are suddenly connecting in new ways instead of feeling like a lot of inner tension about yourself for yourself. It's like something is like shakes something up, and all of a sudden these inner tensions really ease and connect better. And it's like you start to whatever aspect of you has felt a little isolated, it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh no, it's not. This is just like I wasn't finding the right way to think about this or to feel about this, and like, oh, I get it now, and I need to be more gentle and more nourishing and more nurturing internally about me, to me. And as you do that, you start to see ways to connect with others versus separate yourself from others or differentiate yourself from others. And it's like, and I think that's why whatever is coming in, where I was feeling like this love bombing, why to take it lightly is I think you're just needing to experience whatever your question is. There's something around it that's needing to experience some pollination, some expressiveness, some beauty and fun and flirtatious energy here. And so if you go in too hard with one thing or one connection, it's not allowing you to move around and feel that light flirtation that you need to be getting right now to really help solidify this shake up in how you're thinking and connecting both internally, hence externally. Shaking up any weird like attachments to things that were not bringing great outcomes before. And I think you're going to have these moments where you do really, really deeply connect in exciting ways to certain things or places or people or whatever, but you need to let yourself have that with multiple things and people and places. So these readings have been really tough this round in terms of getting an actual yes, no. Without knowing your questions, it's hard for me to know how to put a yes, no on this. And I hope the insight I'm bringing here answers that for you. Like, I'm going to give some examples. If you asked, like, is this person or is this place the thing I'm supposed to commit to? The answer would be no. It's like, have fun with it, see where it goes, but don't shut other opportunities out. If your question's more along the lines of like, is this a positive thing in my life? Yes, it is. So I hope that helps, I don't know, clarify, because I do feel in general positive energy here, but it depends on what you asked, whether it's yes or no. If this is about like really going deep with one thing, no, don't do that. If this is about a lightness and fun and positive things coming, yes. So I hope that establishes what this question is doing. Okay, let's look at your astrology here. We've got Pluto, big shakeup coming. 9th house, and it totally relates to your point of view on how you're thinking. A certain belief that has stifled your mentality around connection, and it's really being shaken up. It's really like something's being uprooted here. You're going to witness something about how this got wired into you, how this mentality got to where it was, and it's like by seeing it, it just releases and you reconnect with like an empowerment, a new empowerment and release and an expansiveness here. And then with Aquarius, I do feel just like a flow of new friendship coming in. Indy, sorry, my dogs get in little fights sometimes. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got Lingam, so this is assertive action. It's like go out and be active in connecting. Whatever this is about, what you can be active about in connection here, whether it's connecting with others, seeking out information, seeking out sort of community resources, whatever it is like take assertive action here, and that's the thing that's going to set in motion this kind of shake up, this lightning thing that kind of releases the old and allows something to ease in you. And then time to go, which I'm reading the same way. It's time to put something in motion here. Okay, let's look at your tea leaf cards, we've got tent, temporary situation, and I'm reading that as what I had said before. Things are a little bit transitory around this question. I don't see a lot of permanence here except for in that change in mindset. But like new things coming in, keep them light. They're a little bit transitory, but have fun with them nonetheless. And then kite, vacation. And I'm picking up with kite that wind energy, like let things flow, let them be easy, let go with the currents, allow things to move and go and have fun and play and be light. I love actually the kite for that. It's like, let things be light here. Okay, that is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope it resonated. I hope you got something meaningful insight, meaningful answer for what you brought here. If this did connect for you, I always appreciate the things like share and subscribe. I'm always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 3, my beautiful Chalcedony pile. For you guys with this Friday insight, yes, no, maybe question. Before we get into the cards, just some intuitive sort of hits that came. Is almost immediately before I even got into shuffling cards, it was sort of like this sensation of warmth was here, and then visually I kind of felt that as I placed the stone and sort of saw the palette of, before the cards were down because these are cooler, but like, you know, sort of a warm tone over here and warmth over here, and I was like, oh yeah, this is warm, sunny, bright, something felt very loving here. But then as I got into shuffling the cards, my mind completely like spaced out and wandered into like my own, you know, a question in my own life or thoughts in my own life, and on like a specific thing kind of came into my mind, and like something, and it was like all of a sudden I had maybe a slightly whimsical idea, although albeit like a potential solution to something that's been on my mind. And then I kind of snapped back and I was like, oh, maybe this is sort of like some insight and guidance coming through before we even get to the cards, of like, if you can just sort of channel some warmth and ease and flow, I think like an answer you've been needing is going to come in maybe like a unique, different, fun way. That may or may not have to do with the question you brought here. Probably does, but on that note, let's look at this top row of cards to get your actual yes, no, maybe about the question you brought here. So you've got Prince of Swords in reverse, Ten of Swords, Despair, and the Hermit in reverse. Interesting. Just trying to relate this to the intuitive hit that came through. Was this to me, the Prince of Swords in reverse is sort of like how I was feeling kind of lost in my own question as I was shuffling for your question. And it was something I was very, you know, there's determination in me to figure out. And I think that you're like lost in the clouds right now, deeply thinking about this question. I think it's bringing some sort of worry attached to it. And I think you're trying to find some sort of like really unique way to approach this question, and this might be that like weird whimsical kind of answer coming through. So what I'm going to say here is, man, these readings this week, it must be because it's Cancer season, are not straightforward in terms of giving you answers, but Yeah, I do feel that kind of like Cancerian energy that's a little bit more internal and intuitive and a little bit, I don't know, a little obscure. I feel like the question here is currently at a maybe, and if you stay on the track you are on now, you're gonna come out the other side of this finding what you need. I don't know that I would phrase it as the yes. I'm gonna say phrasing it as like finding a solution to this question, or finding what you really need from this question. But I think it's going to be a little bit more individualistic, instinctual, you know, not from any outside source, from some sort of internal solution you come up with. So it may not be like a yes to the way your question is currently phrased, but it's going to be, you are going to get a resolution here, but it may not come out in the way you think, is what I'm going to say. So it's kind of a yes, but I don't think it's going to be a yes in the way you think it is. It's going to be a little bit more, there's a little bit more contemplation and seeking answers from within you and not from outside of you. This is like something very individualized you're going to have to come up with yourself, and that's why I think things are going to change around how you've asked this question, but you are going to get a resolution here that I think that you will like, and that's interesting. So that's the best I can do. This is the weirdest week. I am just like really not getting clear yes and no's. It's like, well, hey, there's this weird layer that you have to deal with. But I do feel positive here. I think you're on the right track. Keep at it. You will not get a resolution if you give up right now. If you keep at sort of contemplating this question, you'll get there. And really coming up with something, a resolution from within that's like really unique to you and what you need. Okay, let's look at your astrology. We've got first house. Yeah, it's descendant and moon. Didn't I say this is the moon rules Cancer season when I'm doing this reading? And then we got the moon, perception. It's all about perceptions. Yeah, and it's individual. Like this is, you are going to have that spark, and it's going to bring some balance. And you just have to trust timing, the cycles of life, your own intuition, your perceptions. Trust yourself, but keep the main message here is to keep going, keep contemplating, keep pondering this, really work an individualized approach to this too, and it will come. You will get an answer that resolves this question in some form or fashion if you keep going. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got karma. Yeah, this has to be resolved because it's karma. There's no way not to face whatever your question is about. So that, you know, for good or bad, you have to face it. So you have to get a resolution here, some kind of outcome. So I don't even think, like I said, that there's an urge here to just keep going on the path you're on. I think if you were to give up, something would spark you to continue again. Like, I don't think there's giving up here. And then we've got chaos and conflict. Yeah, I think things are a little foggy right now around this question, but keep working at it and you'll find that really individualized thing. You're going to get through this. You're going to see through any illusions. You're going to find the balanced approach. You're going to find a really unique answer here. So it is a yes. I just don't think it'll be what you expect within that yes. Okay, your tea leaves have pale, time to get out of a situation. Yeah, I mean, that's already sort of we've talked about. And then feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. So that's some new information coming through. I think the more you keep going on this, contemplating it, doing some deep thinking here, I think the more you're going to pick up on certain patterns of behavior in people, specifically patterns of behavior that have created some chaos and conflict. And that's something you're needing to see around this question in order to get to your yes, in order to move through this karma. Okay, that is where I'm going to leave you guys. If that resonated, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe. I'm always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your Friday Insight with yes, no, maybe answers to your questions. So you guys picked this beautiful blue Orca Agate, and just some, it was a pretty general intuitive hit I got while kind of tuning into your group and stone and the process of drawing cards. It was just this like depth. That's all I felt was like there's something deep here. So a deep question, or you're deep, or it's a deep time in your life, something going on around just like a lot of depth here. So to get to the actual yes, no, maybe part, we're going to look at your tarot cards, which are these top row of cards. We've got 7 of Swords with Deception. The Moon. Man, we've gotten so much moon energy, you guys. I'm doing this reading during Cancer season, and even though it won't still be this timing when this comes out, it's also the full moon of Cancer season, which is like the most moony moment of the year. So these answers have been so obscure, and all of a sudden we're also getting the moon out in your reading, so we'll see what happens here. And then we've got 4 of Discs in reverse. Interesting. So we've got I already had that like deep feeling like a whale in the ocean, and then we've got a fox here under like a night sky. We've got a woman under a full moon. And then we've got 4 of Discs in reverse. Wow, this one's tough. I'm trying to get any sort of intuitive sense here of how this is all, like, what's the story coming through. I feel like you need to sort of like if it's possible around this question to really step away from like if you feel like some sort of game is being played around you, it is. Or if you're involved in some kind of gameplay and it's like, stop. Either way, whichever side this resonates with for you, some kind of gameplay, and it's like you need to walk away from this. Wherever there's a feeling of like outside things convoluting, especially like outside people or outside groups convoluting something, making something difficult, or like toxic in your life. It's like it's time to put your sword down. The game's gonna go on, but it's time for you to put your sword down and walk away. This could go on. I'm getting the sense of whatever this is, this could go on and on and on and on and on forever. Look at all these 4 linking circles. This can go on and on and on. And the only result that you're going to get if you keep engaging. So I'm getting a big no here. If you keep engaging whatever this question is about, something about this that is obscure, that is hard to read, is gonna go on and on and on. There's no escape from that. The only escape is to put your stuff down and walk away. Even if that means giving certain things up, losing certain things. There's always ways to I'm just thinking of, like if someone's bringing a really serious question here, I don't want to say like on a really extreme, and I doubt anyone here is bringing a question like this, but just to give you a reason why I'm going to say what I'm going to say, in case there is someone here like this, of like, if you're trying to figure out like a custody settlement with your kids, and it's just like the other party or both of you are just in these game playing modes, I would never advise to put your sword down and just walk away, because obviously you don't want to walk away from your kids. But what I'm saying is like walk away from your end of the game playing and find a way to just express how much you want to be able to, if there's something that you can't just walk away from in this, like kids, and I'm going to use that as a metaphor because my guess is that would be a metaphor for 99.9% of you. But if there's some element like that where you can't just you would never just walk away from that, it's just like you need to put your game plan, your sword down though, and walk away from that aspect, and just from like an authentic place express how much you still want to be in their lives, and find ways to stay connected or stay, have access in some way. But what is coming through here, I'm not going to go into the trenches with that because I don't necessarily think anyone's coming to the reading with that question. It's the main message coming through here is like anything you're engaged with on your side of the street, it's time to put down any games or manipulations or feeling like you have to engage with games others are playing. There's a way. You have to find the loophole out of this. You have to and that's going to first require you putting a sword down and looking up, looking for an intuitive answer and a really authentic, deep, soulful, gentle answer here. That is the way forward, and that is the way you're going to break out of this endless cycle that will never end until you put your sword down. I just don't get the sense that the other side is ever going to. And so it's up to you to be a bigger person here, or to have really, if it's not about another person, just having like really stepping into a much more soulful place, putting something down here and just yeah, just going more deeply within and asking for like a really gentle, nourishing answer, and kind of throwing your hands up and just asking for some kind of revelation. But the way things are going right now is like a no. If you keep going the way you're going is a no. If you can put things down and look for a gentle, nourishing way and ask kind of in surrender for that, you'll get an answer. So it kind of, there is some guidance here of how to, I don't know if it's necessarily would end up in a yes, but how to move into a better space at least here. But the other warning here is if you don't put the sword down or the concern down or the need to be part of the things down, whatever feels like it's just kind of like endlessly circling and not moving forward, we've already established that, yeah, that is what is happening, but it's also just going to corrupt into nothing. It's going to lose all value. So you have to find a way here to put down any concern about what others or another side or the outside world is doing or thinking, and just, yeah, really asking for like a soulful, nourishing answer here. And I think that there is one. It's just that you have to kind of like surrender a bit and ask for that like more divine intervention and guidance. And I think it's going to take some humility. I think you're really going to have to tap into some humility here. Okay, let's look at your astrology cards. We've got Aries. Yeah, there's some headbutting. Venus, and this is saying you need to move from that like confrontation energy, headbutting, that aggressive and assertive energy, into something that's like, what is the beautiful answer here? Where is their beauty? Where is their flourishing? Where is their compromise, cooperation? Where is their elegance? And knowing that maybe that can't really be found if there's like an opposing force here or opposing others engaged. It's like, how can I find this for myself? I need to get into a different space. I need things to feel like this. And if I can make things feel like this versus this, I will find that loophole. I will find that way through. But if I continue in this energy, things are going to keep going as they are, and everything's going to kind of just come to nothing at the end. But if I can just find a way, even if it's just for me, like pampering myself, taking care of myself, valuing myself, coming into some humility to ask for a gentler way, you'll find it. Like a revelation will come through. And then Saturn here. Yeah, the wheels of time. This to me is saying it's the time, like you can't give more time to any negative energy here. The time to stop or put down some negative spirals is now. You have to do that before it's too late and this all just kind of crumbles to nothing. Whatever that means to you. But yeah, it's like the timing is now to try and move into Venus energy. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got solar. Yeah, revelation will come if you can put the sword down, go within, find your Venusian center, some beauty, some nourishment, some gentleness. The sun will come out and shed light, reflect light off of that full moon and bring a revelation. You can't make this up. Are you serious? It's this never-ending story on top of this card that I kept getting that sense of like all these links. It's just a never-ending link that's going to go on and on and on. And the time is now. The way through here is put down your side of any like aggression, confrontation, need to win in that like, you know, I'm the victor kind of way. Go within, find some beauty for yourself. Ask for something gentle to come through. Ask to connect to something more soulful, more gentle, more nourishing. And you'll find your revelation and your way out of the never-ending story. But the time to do this is now. I can't stress that enough. Right now. Okay. Let's look at your tea leaves to end. You've got frying pan, trouble, accusations, exactly. And I know how hard it can be is if you feel like someone's being so unfair and so deceptive and so this and so that, and you have all right to point fingers and accuse, or maybe they're doing it to you, whatever the thing is. It's like it's just doing nothing but aggravating the situation, though, even if it's justified, it doesn't matter. You need to get out of that energy and into some beauty, some love, some tenderness, some softness. Yeah. And then we've got dagger, fear, worries, tense situation. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, it's just like you need to take care of you. You need to step away from the swords, literally, like, step away from the daggers. Really come back to yourself. Find a way to see beauty in the world, in yourself, in others, away from this situation. And find the humility to ask for something nourishing and gentle to come through here. And I think you'll find some kind of loophole out of this. You may not get exactly what you want. You may have been wronged, but it's just time to get out, though, and find a way out. So, I mean, yeah, this is really big. I feel for everyone here, even if it's not a huge question, but for those of you where this really resonates on a deep level, I feel you. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe, and I'm always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day whenever and wherever you are. All right, see you guys.